you saw the tweet that went out from Brett McMurphy on why Dave was let go. Can you read that? Can you read that tweet again, Sheer?
Give me 2 seconds.
All right. And then
He
I will,
says,
all right. Then I'm going to have some issues with this tweet.
Arizona AD Dave Heeke was fired for, quote, financial and operational mismanagement, resulting in an athletic department financial disaster, loss of major donors, and mishandling of Jed Fish's contract.
All right. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm not going to pretend that I know everything that's going on with the budget. We'll know with the audit on everything. But here's a couple things that people need to understand. People above Dave Heeke sign off on this. Dave Heeke just doesn't get to run around with a check and say, you know what, we're just going to do this, we're going to do that. Also, if it was that gross, if it was that much malfeasance, here's my other two questions here. And again, I don't know. We will see. Why wasn't he fired for cause? Because that's a very pointed critique right there. Why wasn't he fired for cause? The other thing that why was he allowed to hire another football coach if he has done all of this that has been so bad? That to me is where this feels like there's other avenues in play besides just this, Jason Shearer.
Yeah, there's a couple weird things to that. Like you mentioned with the financials. I don't know. And look, I'm not saying boosters are in love with Dave, but I can't recall the loss of a major booster.
Right.
Because of Dave. And maybe that's referring to Stevens, but Stevens didn't leave because of Dave, left because of Robbins.
Right.
so right. That doesn't add up either. And then the Jedfish contract thing, you mean to tell me that President Robbins had no idea what was going on with Jedfish's contract? The dude that hires coaches that has literally given plays. This is not a joke. I brought this up before. Yes. Has literally given plays to coaches. Doesn't know that Jedfish's contract has an issue with it. Come on.
That to me is what doesn't make sense. And I'm going to say this again. And everybody knows I am biased here. I like Dave Heeke a great deal. I think he's a really good dude. In this day and age, athletic departments run deficits. That's just the way it is. You look at UCLA, they got a $36 million deficit. I get it. Arizona football, everybody's always said you want Arizona football to be good. Guess what? Arizona football is good now. Sometimes you got to pay that. You got to pay that money. Like I said, the whole thing just really rubs me the wrong way because I do feel, listen, if Dave did things wrong, totally get it. I get it. Hold it accountable. But at the same time, there's a lot of stuff here that just doesn't quite add up. And the whole thing about the contract, like you brought up, that doesn't make any sense either. You mean to tell me that Robbins had no idea what was going on with this contract negotiation? Only George Wrightster believes that.
I heard this morning, and again, it's one source, so don't hold me to it. But I heard this morning that basically Robbins has convinced, and it adds up. Robbins has convinced the Board of Regents to let him stay for now, but they wanted blood, and that was Dave in this case. And there's going to be others coming down the pipe as well.
Right. I also think that you're going to find out as we get further and further along. And again, this is just some informed speculation. The union obviously the union at the U of A obviously voted, wants Robbins out as well. I think there's probably some resentment towards the spending in the athletic department. I think that is something that comes into play as well. But either way, like I said, the whole thing, this feels like, like I said, when the audit comes out, we'll see. But I can tell you for a fact, again, that people above Dave have to sign off on this. It isn't Dave going around with an open checkbook signing. There's people above Dave that have to sign off on that.
Yeah. And again, like, it's weird. I was on radio this morning and they were like, can I just ask a question? Like, the press release for Dave's firing sounds like it's a hiring. Like, this guy's awesome. This guy's great. And I'm like, yeah, because Robbins is trying to save. He doesn't want to piss anyone off. Right. Like, Dave's an easy target, basically. And again, the audit, it's not going to look good from what I understand. For sure. And the numbers are going to justify getting rid of Dave. I mean, they just are. Now, I'm not saying they should have got rid of Dave, and I'm not saying Robbins isn't the main one to blame, but it's going to be very easy for Arizona to use that audit as a reason for deflecting, changing direction, and getting rid of Dave.
I guess my problem still is this: and when you got all these departments under Robbins that are not doing well from a financial perspective, at what point then does everybody below Robbins stop taking the hit, and then maybe Robbins takes the hit? He does have a good relationship with the ABOR, which obviously is helping him right now.
We're going to find out because that's where this is headed. This is coming to a head. This is the last of this. Dave is just one piece of this puzzle. I mean, it is going to come to a head, and Robbins is going to have to make major explanations and withstand not a rebellion, but like, look, the union wants him gone. Right. There's people on campus that clearly want Robbins gone. So it's going to come to a head here sooner than later. Wilner made a great point last night. A rare great point by John Milton.
Yeah, what did he say?
If you're an AD, why are you coming to Arizona? You don't even know who you're working for in 6 months.
And you also don't know what your relationship is going to be like with the president as well. Are you going to be allowed to do your job? Are you going to be allowed to do this? This feels kind of like a casualty of war type situation.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. 100%.
Yeah. Also, again, this is just informed speculation. I would be listen, as far as the roster goes and everything, it's going to be football and basketball is going to be fine. I will say that as far as the next AD, I will say that I would be very surprised if it's Erica Barnes. I guess things could change, but talking with a number of people, I don't believe that is the route that Bobby Robbins will be taking.
I've heard this morning that it would be a surprise if it was Barnes or Candrea. It feels like they're going to go to an outside fundraiser type financial kind of. It would just be a surprise if Mike is a great dude. Everyone loves him. Is he really a permanent AD? And Erica Barnes is just not. The relationship isn't there between her and Robbins.
Right.